If you're a property investor and you're stuck doing your market research, then this video is for you. I'm going to give you 5 sites that you can use for free so you can start out broad and narrow down and find the right property that suits your buying strategy. Hi, I'm Karen from Kelly Property Consultants. I'm a buyer's advocate and I help property investors get into property. My aim is to help the buying process as smooth and as simple as possible. If you like what you see, hit the like and the subscribe button, and also hit the bell notification, and I can send you videos as they come out. When you start your market research, it can actually be a bit daunting, particularly if you're not sure what area you want to invest in. If you're on a limited budget and you don't want to invest in major cities or coastal cities that are out of your price range, sometimes we need to go into regional areas. But if you don't know the areas that you go into, you actually need to do a lot of your own due diligence. I just wanted to show you 5 sites that you can use that you can actually start to narrow down an area that's in your price range, that's going to have capital growth, that's also going to show you the rental return that you can have, the gross rental yield, and to be able to buy with confidence. So the first site that I actually wanted to show you, which I will take myself off the screen so you've got the whole screen and you can see it, and that is heat maps. So I'll just click into there now and let's get started. So this is heat maps, heatmaps.com.au. This is one of the research tools that I use, and it's a free tool. It's a lot of the data is taken from some government agencies. It's got a list down the bottom if you want to see where the data actually comes from to see how accurate it is. I just like it because it gives you a general overview of what each area is. I've actually got it put on the parks area at the moment, just to give you a quick outline of what it can do. It gives you a medium house price, and it actually compares to the New South Wales medium house price. New South Wales is in the green, and this is from 2016 through to 2022. And it actually compares the parks area through to the overall New South Wales medium house price. So it's good to be able to compare those different types of things. Scrolling down, there's a few more. It actually shows you what the growth rate had been over the last couple of years. But one thing I did like, it actually shows you what the medium rental price was for the parks area, or 2870, and it also calculates what the gross rental yield for houses were for that postcode also. And they're things that you need to add in your area tracker. Now, if you don't have an area tracker, I do have one that I can give you. It's one that I use for myself and my clients. And if you'd like it, just leave a comment below and I can send it through to you. Just going up the top, just so you know what else it offers. These are things, I won't go into them now, but just when you go onto it, just click on them, have a play with it, see what actually suits, the data that you're trying to collect. One thing I did like, it actually has areas, it comes up with the areas that are owner occupied. So you might be looking for something that is over 50% of owner occupied properties in that particular area you want to purchase in. So, and it even goes down to like the average income for an area, social housing, crime, and schools. And these are all things that you need to consider when you're actually buying. So I hope you like heat maps. This is a very quick overview of it, but it's something that you need to just go away, start playing around with, and sort of working out what information you actually want to put on your area tracker. And from there, you can determine, what area that you really want to start to focus on. You may just pick one area, or you may pick 2 or 3, just so that you can focus on them and then start sort of looking what's around, contacting agents and going from there. This site is id.com.au. Now, it has a few different tabs that you can actually go into, but the one that I just wanted to show you was to do with the economy. It has about 140 different shires across Australia, so your shire may or may not be there. And you can actually go into the shire. We'll just go into Armidale Regional Council, which is in New South Wales. The other Armidale is actually Western Australia, but we're going to New South Wales. And from here, you can actually start to look at what the economy is like in that shire. So if you've gone onto heat maps and you've worked out, well, I'm going to go to the Armidale Shire, this is the area that I'm looking to invest in, this is where you can actually go in and start to see what's actually happening in the local council area, and, you know, what's employment, business, just to give you an overall view of how prosperous this area is, and is it worth investing in? Because without this information, you don't want to be investing in an area that's not going forward, that it doesn't have government spending or private spending. Armidale's pretty good. It's got the university there, and it just shows a lot of information. So I just wanted to quickly show you this site. It's id.com.au. Again, you need to go in and have a sort of play around with it, see what actually suits the data that you're looking for. Now, once you've started to actually narrow down where you want to be, particularly if you're looking in regional areas, you'll go to heat maps and you'll start to work out which area, you know, has the growth that you're after, the rental return that you're after. Now you need to actually start to look at the council area. One thing is going to the local government websites. So we're just using Tamworth Regional Council as an example. From here, you can actually go in and do a couple of things. You can go and find out what development is happening or is going to be happening, people that are applying for development applications. Now, these could be things from a local restaurant wanting to expand in whatever way, compared to someone wanting to subdivide a block of land, or someone who is wanting to build 8 townhouses. So these are things that are great to know, just so you know what's actually going to be happening in the area in the future. To find things like that, now each website is different. So sometimes, you know, Dubbo Council will be different to Armidale, to Tamworth. So sometimes it's just going in and playing around a bit and sort of searching for things. But one thing I do suggest is just to keep an eye on what development applications are going through council. And that's as simple as going to, say, development. And again, every site's different. So, but it's generally development or building. And this is what is currently on exhibition or under consideration in the Tamworth Regional Council. They've got a fair bit going on, as you can see. This particular site is planning alerts. It's a good way of just keeping an eye on what's happening in the area that you're looking to invest in. So if you've really narrowed down that you're going to be investing in, say, Dubbo, and you want to be in, say, Macquarie Street or somewhere in that area, this you can actually put in an address. So it might be 10 Macquarie Street, for example, and it'll do a 2-kilometre radius around there. So if there's any planning or anyone that's actually applied for planning, DAs, construction certificates, etc., this will actually give you an alert. So it's probably not something that you would use straight away, but it is something that later on you can actually, if you own the property or you're in the initial stages of wanting to know what's happening in the area and to be notified, it's a good one to use. One other thing that you really need to know is your property in a flood area? So that's something that I highly recommend that you look for the flood overlay map, and say if you've narrowed down to a street, is that property in a flood area? Particularly over the last 12 months, it's been a bit incredible with the amount of flooding that we've had, and some of the flood waters has actually gone into different areas that hasn't flooded in the past. I know in the area that I live in, with all the different works that have gone on, it's actually pushed the water onto the other side of town. So these are things that you need to know. I'll just show example of Barraba. That was one report that I had downloaded, and I'll just quickly show you. These are the things that will come up. So this is the PDF I downloaded for Barraba. This is the township of Barraba, the river that goes through it. The blue highlights the flooding areas, and the red highlighted the hazardous areas. And so these, at least you know, if say you went and bought something in Barraba, these are the areas that you wouldn't want to go into. Say if all of this was blue, you'd probably stay away from that area. So this site that we're currently on is called oldlistings.com.au. It's a really good site to show you what the sales history has been or the rental history has been for a property. So if it's been listed back in, say, last year in July, and it was listed at 300,000 and it was still on the market and the price had decreased over that time, you'll actually see what the discounting has been. So we'll just go into Tamworth. Now, the way these sites actually make money is that they normally have Google AdWords there. So that can slow, you know, your research down a bit, but you can always click off if you don't want to see the ads. Now, there are quite a few old listings here. In Tamworth, there's over 18,000. So that's a lot of information. You can actually filter down even further into the different streets, so you can narrow down your research. But we'll just have a look. We'll click off that. We'll just have a look what's on here. This property was, last time it was advertised for sale was December last year. That was the price guide. And it's got this history in the past where in 2017, geez, that's a massive jump, was 3019 that it was actually advertised at. So this is one way of gauging, you know, what's actually happening in the market, if there's any discounting. Here's another one. The price hasn't actually changed. So that sort of is one way of saying, well, the house has been on the market for at least 4 months. The owner hasn't budged at all. So if you wanted to buy that property, you may not actually have a lot of leverage when it comes to getting him to come down in the price when you're negotiating. So these are great things to know and to put on your area tracker so that you can actually have all of the information at hand when you go to make an offer. It also has the old rental listings, which is another great way. If your property has been a rental in the past, you can actually see what it was getting. And if it's something, say it's a renovator, you might be able to say, well, in the past, it was only getting $250 a week. If we went and did X, Y, and Z to it, we might be able to increase the rent by X amount of money. So these are things that you'll actually start to accumulate the data and understand what you can actually do and get for that particular property. I hope these 5 websites have been able to give you a lot more help. We started with heat maps and we slowly worked our way in. We found out what the economy was like by using id.com.au. We've then gone to the local council websites where you can actually gather a lot of data and actually find out what's happening in the town, what's happening in the Shire, what economic strategies they've got, what areas flood, and what development's going to be happening. From there, we used old listings, so we could actually start to see what properties have been listed at in the past, if there's any discounting happening. And this will help you with your negotiation if you know that the vendor has come down, they've stayed firm for a period of time, and these are things that we need to know. And the last thing was planning alerts. This is a great way of seeing what's coming up in the future, that you'll be notified straight away if someone's put a DA on a property and that you know what's happening within a 2-kilometre radius around your area. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button and the subscribe button, just so I know I'm on the right track. And until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.